Hey look, it's a common thing that we've all heard of in science class. These gigantic celestial objects that eat anything that comes in its way, kind of like a vacuum cleaner. But what is it that makes these black holes so unique? And should you be afraid of them? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. Alright, so before we dive in, I'd just like to quickly mention that there will be some background drone footage of me flying my drone while I'm talking about black holes, because I mean it's kind of boring seeing me on the camera the whole time facing me. So just as a little bit of an entertainment and educational value, both put in one. So tell me what you guys think of that. But anyways, let's just dig right in. In definition, a black hole is a region of space-time with such gravitational force that not even light can escape. In context, light is 299,792,458 meters per second. That's the same as saying that if you had a spaceship that could theoretically travel the speed of light, which we all know is pretty much impossible, but let's just say that you could do that theoretically. If we approached a black hole and we essentially, at a certain point with no escape, we tried to escape it at the speed of light, we wouldn't be able to do it. Now, the thought of that is actually crazy when you think about it, but is not all too surprising at the same time. The reason being, well, first let's just understand how black holes are formed, because nothing else will make sense until we understand how that truly works. Simply said, black holes, when giant stars that are many, many times larger than our own sun reach the end of their life and implode, collapsing on itself. Stellar mass black holes can be as massive as 10 to 100 solar masses. Yes, you heard that right. As if our own sun wasn't massive enough, black holes can get as massive as 10 to 100 of our suns. The sun alone has a mass of 1.989 times 10 to the power of 28 kilograms. Let that sink in for a second, as I have not recited 45 digits of pi if you would rather have me do that. Our sun is such a cute little baby. Even though I'm saying that our sun is a cute little baby, 1 million Earths approximately can fit inside of our own sun. The scale of the universe is unimaginable, because some things like the sun are big, but at the same time a tiny speck compared to other stars in the universe, like Betelgeuse or UI Scuti or VY Canis Majoris. But hey, black holes sound cool. They're crazy. Maybe we can jump into one sometime. Oh yep, totally, you can jump into one. If you're fine with all of your insides being stretched to a stream of subatomic particles no thicker than an atom. Pretty much imagine your size right now. Like, how tall are you? Just think about that. You approach the black hole and then it's so gravitationally strong that you start stretching and stretching until you are as thin as a stream of atoms. Astronomers call this event of stretching when you approach a black hole spaghettification, and it's quite easy to see why. Spaghetti is long, it's stretched out, and spaghettification describes exactly that when you get close to it and then you start stretching and stretching until you become spaghetti. Now, I have to address something. The reason that a smaller black hole that is not as massive can kill you very fast compared to a supermassive black hole is because of how massive black holes have their gravity spread over a much larger distance, as in you are much further away from the event horizon than you were if you approached a smaller black hole. So scientifically speaking, I could go to a black hole that is much more dangerous if it was the size of a penny, but I would be completely safe if I approached a black hole that is, say, as big as, I don't know, 1 trillion of our suns, for example. So as you know, if you were traveling in space and you just suddenly saw a black hole out of nowhere, chances are you'll die before you can tell anyone. RIP, rest in peace. Yeah, I'm sorry. You might want to consider socially distancing yourself from black holes too. Except instead of staying away 6 feet from it, I would probably stay 100 light years or more from the black hole. I could go on and on about how black holes slow down time or how they form. But get this, did you know that you yourself, yep, that's right, you that I'm talking to right now could become a black hole right now? Anything. I mean, like you, your friends, smartphone, laptop, television, whatever. But don't be afraid. That doesn't mean that suddenly an object in your house is going to be like a freaking big black hole and gobble you up before you can say goodbye to your family. I am actually saying this in a mathematical manner. There's actually something called the Schwarzschild radius. Essentially, for something to become a black hole, you would have to compress it down so much, and I mean so much, that its density and gravitational pull would be infinite. That seems kind of like a hard concept to grasp, but let me just give you an example. Take aluminum foil, for example. It's in your house, right? If you take a large sheet and try to weigh it, it's pretty light, honestly. It doesn't weigh that much. But try to take a hammer and try to pretty much just hammer it into a super duper tiny sphere, and you'll notice how heavy it suddenly gets. The reason being because the mass is enclosed in a very, very, very tiny area. So it will feel very heavy. That's how anything could become a black hole in this entire world. No matter how light you think something is, if you were to compress it down enough to a certain size, it will definitely become a black hole. So just to say an example, the Earth, squish that down to the size of a peanut, you get a black hole. Now, black holes aren't the only cool part about space, because there's just so many questions to ask. We don't even know everything about all of the planets in our solar system, all of the mysteries behind it. So, if you hate school, but enjoy learning, guys, there is a difference between school and learning. Trust me, there is a huge difference. Yeah, trust me. Then start your journey by hitting subscribe so that you can learn everything about astronomy and electricity faster than the speed of light. You see what I did there? As always, keep on thinking.